April 27th of 1999 was the day that actually not just changed my life, but changed many people's lives. Almost 400 people were killed in Medio, and where the biggest massacre happened. They came with big tanks, big army. I had a very close relationship with my father. So I woke up early in the morning and he said to me, Yeton, he said, I think we are getting surrounded by the Serbian police, and he said we need to escape. But it was too late because a big tank ran over our gates. We were completely surrounded. One of the police, he asked us to be lined against the wall. We knew that, okay, they're gonna kill us. And one Serbian police grabs me by my arm and he puts me in a different room. And then he has this Kalashnikov and he puts it in my ear like that. And he starts shouting and he's asking, where is your father? My mom comes in and says, how dare you do this to my children? Because while he was having this gun into my ear, I completely became numb. I knew any second I'm gonna be dead. So he let me and my mom go. He said, go, and while we were just leaving the door, my father comes out and he says to him, my father says, oh, I'm the father of the family. And he says, oh, we're looking for you. They take him, they grab him, they yell at us, they shout at us, they say, go to Albania, never come back. And as soon as we turn our heads, our backs, they kill him. We went today to the cemeteries and we saw where almost 400 people remains are there. Sometimes I go walk there by myself, and sometimes I visit my father's grave, and there are times when I kind of am mad, because he's not here. When I became a believer, I was asked a question about forgiveness and about people who killed my father. What would I do if I met these people? This anger rose up in me, and I said, oh, don't ask me that question. And he said to me, one day you'll have to forgive them. And I said, never. That's never gonna happen. And he said, I know how you must feel, he said, but remember when Jesus was on the cross, he said, Father, forgive them, for that they do not know what they're doing. And then I knelt there and I cried and I wept because I felt like I was betraying my father, and his blood and many people that were killed during the war. I didn't feel doing so. I know Jesus says that we should forgive. And I was crying and, I'm saying, God, I forgive those who killed my father. A few months later, I was walking in the town and I saw a group I thought they were tourists. They seemed kind of lost. And I approached to them and I wanted to help them. So I talked to them and I invited them for coffee. They asked me about the war and I started sharing this testimony with them. And this lady was crying. Actually, she was weeping while I was sharing my testimony. And then I stopped and I say, I'm so sorry if my testimony is very tough, rough, and said I will be more careful about the words I choose. And she said, no. She said, you continue. The reason why I'm crying, she said, is because she said, I'm Serbian. And then I started to cry myself. And I stood and I hugged her. We hugged and we cried together. And that was the first time I realized that God had set me free from hatred. If a heart is given to Christ, Christ is able to heal that heart, to restore that heart. And Christ is the only person who can make it possible for us to forgive our enemies. And I believe that He's faithful and He will keep His word, and He will give us the means and the strength we need and the joy we need to carry on.